everyone. We are already knee-deep in conversation here because there is so much to talk about. Year after year, Hallmark Keepsake ornaments have adorned our Christmas trees, marking the important milestones in our lives and inspiring even more memories. And this year marks the 45th anniversary of these amazing ornaments. And here to help us celebrate with her commemorative ornament is keepsake artist Debra Nielsen. Welcome, Debra. We're so excited to have you here.
Yes. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
I mean, we can't stop talking to you. How much time do you have, Debra?
Yeah, exactly. I'm yours today.
All right,
here we go. Whatever you need.
Today we are going to talk about some of the beautiful ornaments that you have brought here, namely this beautiful horse that you have created, this rocking horse that was inspired by a rocking horse from 1985.
Correct. It's actually inspired by Linda Sickman, one of our retired artists. She had a series of rocking horse ornaments. This one is 1985, which to me means the year of my daughter's birth, also very special. And we decided to do this horse again in porcelain, in premium, in honor of the 45th anniversary. So I'm very proud of how he turned out.
Yeah, so the first one, so this one is the original.
Original.
And then yours is right beside it.
The porcelain is next to it.
Look at that. So, and there was a whole line of horses for years, correct?
Yes, this was a series that ran for years with Linda Sickman and is one of the most treasured series by our collectors. So we decided to use that.
The girls are so nostalgic, and I know they bring back a lot of memories, personal memories for you.
They do. I actually, in 1985, I had my daughter. I decided she needed a rocking horse, so I bought her a wooden rocking horse.
Oh my God.
And it was well loved, and the hair got all fuzzy on the mane and tail. And then what happened is my daughter had a son named Henry. And Henry needed the rocking horse, so I pulled him out of the basement, refinished him.
That's impressive.
Made him a new tail and mane, and now Henry enjoys.
Can I tell you something? Henry's very happy right there. On
he is.
Yes, he's loving life.
Hopefully Henry will give that to his daughter or his son one day.
I hope so.
That is so cute. Isn't that the idea, to keep passing them down just like the ornaments?
It is, absolutely. Yeah. And I think we all recognize that as a strong Christmas icon, a toy we'd enjoy.
Absolutely, no question. And you're also the artist responsible for the Pony for Christmas ornaments. Tell us a little bit about the 2018 ornament from that series.
It's actually featured here as the knight in shining armor. I tried to think about what would this pony do in his make-believe world. And Linda Sickman started the series again and then retired, and I took it over, and she had done so many different characters. It was a challenge to do something new, but I thought, we haven't done a knight in shining armor. So he's on a beautiful little Norway fjord horse. They're sturdy, take you into battle, so he can live out his imagination on that pony.
And I love the little wheels you put on the bottom of them.
I make those in a digital program.
I mean, it's fascinating.
It really
how you do this. And then, of course, you have a prototype that you brought us that no one else has seen yet.
A surprise, a sneak peek for you all. 2019, we're moving into a little king that's riding a unicorn. The first time the Pony for Christmas has been a unicorn.
Oh my gosh,
and it's the first time anybody's ever, I mean, other than within your sort of secret bubble of design, has seen this beautiful ornaments for next year.
That will be available at the beginning of next year?
It will be available next July. The premiere, the big event in July when the ornaments come out.
And what about this Arabian horse here?
That's actually an unofficial series I've done, and he actually came out in November, I believe, maybe October. I lose track. I don't even know what year it is, I have to admit. But the Dream Horse has done really well as an unofficial series and honors that breed.
Okay, Deb, I think it's fair to say that you love horses. Maybe even the word obsessed may come to mind. And this
perhaps
did not start in a very good way. This didn't start when you just began to work at Hallmark. No. You have loved horses since you were a very little girl.
I have. My mom bought a horse for us when I was 8, and I learned to show this horse. It was my babysitter. It kept me out of trouble. I was in 4-H and state and county fairs, and it was a lot of fun. That's how I spent my childhood.
Wow. So you know a thing or two about the equestrian world.
Yes.
They chose the right person to do the horse series.
I was the girl that finished my test at school and went on to draw horses on the paper, and I enjoy sculpting them now.
And speaking of drawing and sculpting horses, I mean, as an artist, I understand that you still work with traditional wax to do that sculpting, but in order to sculpt that, you and some of the other artists use a little bit of non-traditional tools in order to get that done. Tell us about some of these non-traditional tools.
We do use some dental tools that are available, but our work is so tiny that we need to make our custom tools. I use like an X-Acto knife, and I'll get it ground down to where it's very thin and fine, so I can do things like Barbie hair, horse hair, get that little detail in there. And I'll use a paintbrush handle and slide that blade into that.
Oh my goodness, so you have to have a very steady hand.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And good eyes?
And good eyes. Maybe not as good as they were earlier in my life, but yeah, still fairly good.
You probably could have been a surgeon.
Well, my daughter has advised me that early on, so yes, maybe my next career.
It's never too late. Hallmark artist by day, surgeon by night, you'll always be on call. And by the way, I would just once again like to say, I say this every time somebody's visiting from Hallmark headquarters, but you all are really incredible artists.
Oh, well, thank you.
What goes into this is so just deep.
And on that note, how long does it take from conception, from the sketch into the, into the wax design, and then all the way to the finished product? How long does that whole process take approximately?
The sculpt itself, for me, usually takes around 2 weeks. It depends on the difficulty level. And then we cast one and we paint that one, so we have another week in there. So I would say overall, start to finish, around a month of time.
For one ornament.
One ornament.
I mean, it just adds a lot more meaning.
Right, and it's so important for people to understand that. Like, someone's heart and soul has gone into creating these. It's not just a machine that...
Exactly.
These are real life people sculpting these with probably magnifying glass.
Absolutely. Have those magnifocusers on, yes.
We just saw a shot of the Barbie tree topper. So we're talking horses, we've got all these great,
but
you don't only do horses. I mean, that's impressive.
Myself and a team of people actually created that Barbie tree topper, because we talk about a village and how it takes a village to make our ornaments. That one really did. I had Orville Wilson help make the bodice that's all lacy and snowflakey, and I had an engineer do our light program, and Katrina sculpted it.
And I know your husband made the little piano.
He did.
As a gift for you?
No, not as a gift, other than he helped out with my work schedule.
Yeah, he gave you some hours back.
He did.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have one that really stands out in mind that you've created?
I have a lot of favorites. I'm really proud of our Barbie line. I've worked on that for over 20 years, and they're very exacting, and she's such an icon. I'm very proud of that product.
Good for you.
And then the horses, of course, I think are more of a reflection of myself. So I have a lot to be proud of.
You certainly do.
You certainly do, Deb. Thank you. And you let us know how that career as a surgeon pans out for you. We are here for you. Thank you, Deb. You can celebrate 45 years of keepsake ornaments by visiting Hallmark.com or your local Gold Crown store.